her voice is going in and out, or is that just my end?
I think it's just yours.
Yeah, I think it's
Sounds
A little.
Okay.
all right. So this is RB, and thanks for joining RB's Kitchen Talk.
Gotcha.
My guests are Vernon Moses, Donnell Cole Sr., Drake Corbin, and James Lanier. Welcome to RB's Kitchen Talk. Thank you so much for agreeing to be my guest. And you know, I am excited about this talk, and I can't wait to hear your responses. So let's jump right in. So the first question that I have for you is, how did you know your wife was the one? How did you know? Just jump right in.
Say that again, because you're.
How did you know your wife was the one that was going to make your life the best life ever? How did you know?
I think personally for
Well,
me,
you want me to start off?
Okay. James, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, personally for me, like, because I got married in my 20s, it's a pivotal moment where, like, I was in a relationship. I was actually willing to be very stubborn. So typically in other relationships that I was in, I would just be like, all right, then I'm like done. But then when it came to her, I was just like, all right, maybe I'll do that. Maybe I will do that different, like little by little. And then it kind of built up to like, all right, like I'm a totally different person, like because of you. So like obviously I feel like you have a significant impact on me where like, I don't know, maybe.
Yeah, so
that's where I could describe it, I guess. Yeah.
Okay, so she was different. Would you say she was different from the others? And in terms of her influence on you, is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I can dig that.
Yeah.
All right. Vernon, what were you going to say? Vernon?
I would say for me it was that. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Are you able to hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. For me, it was so Trinice, who I'm married to now, was my second marriage. And so having had been married before, that a marriage that was not successful, I knew what I wanted and needed in a partner. And I was very specific about it, and standards were kind of high. So for me, I needed someone that could really meet that expectation, could understand. At that time, I was a business owner, an entrepreneur, and supporting an entrepreneur and being part of an entrepreneur life is a different experience. I think am I buffering? You guys over there hear me okay? Because I went in and out buffering.
We can hear
you. You're good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, everybody's hearing.
Okay. Yeah, we can hear you.
Are you hearing me okay?
Yes, definitely.
Yes, if you're hearing okay.
So finish that sentence. So you were saying that.
All right. So it's kind of a disconnecting.
Okay. Okay, so you were saying that.
So again, because I had a very specific set of needs, right. Being an entrepreneur, I had a very demanding life. I needed a partner, and I was looking for somebody to be that life partner. And so, with those specific and very clear needs, I was able to express that as I went into relationships, and very often. It wasn't something that, I could see that the person was built to do. When I met Trinice, we had very similar, we're very both driven. We had sets of goals. We had very demanding lists for our spouses and what we had our partners and what we wanted. And they aligned. So it might sound a little bit calculated, but sometimes to get it right, it needs to be calculated. And obviously we had the emotional and physical attraction as well. but we were really sober in what we wanted over and above physical and emotional attraction.
Okay. All right. That's cool. Great. Interesting. Donnell, what would you say?
Well, me and my wife, we both weren't looking for anybody. We just went through bad previous relationships. So I wasn't looking for anyone. She wasn't. And a coworker of mine, she kind of was the matchmaker. She said, "I think you'd be great for my girlfriend," and this, and I was like, "Nah, I don't. I just got out of a relationship. I don't want nothing to do. I don't want nobody else's headache." So, uh, so we decided to. She showed me a picture, and when she showed me the picture, I was like, "Okay."
Maybe I'll think about this.
Yeah, I say, okay, why not? So we went on a date. I remember it was at Chickies and Pete's. We went to Chickies and Pete's, and we were talking. And once we started talking, we had so much in common. We both pretty much went through the exact same thing. And she was a church girl, so she was brought up in the church. Her mother's a preacher. My father's a preacher. So we had so much in common, and we hit it off. And it was so funny because I actually brought my divorce papers. Divorce papers, because she was like, everybody said, yeah, you're divorced, but they're really not divorced. And I have my papers with me, and I said, I'm really divorced.
All right. So it sounds like it sounds like while you weren't sure you were ready, you were hoping this might happen.
Yeah, so when I got the luge, I said, all right, let me try. I mean, from the picture, as men, we're physical. We like to see, And so I said, all right, let me give it a shot, And I'm glad I did.
Yes.
Because I wasn't her type either. So she usually doesn't date anybody like me. So she was like, you're different, So it worked out.
All right. Okay. Drake, I love that. Drake, come on. Come with it. Come on.
Okay. Well, I knew my wife was one for me when, I kind of just zeroed in on her one day. It was after I kind of prayed to God because I was kind of tired of the dating scene. I mean, I was young. I wasn't, I was in my early 20s, but I was tired of the I guess dramas of it all. And so I prayed, and then I prayed that God would just, if it was His will, to find the right person. If not, I'll just focus on school or whatever. And then my wife at the time, she was a member of the same church, and so one day she called the house, but she didn't call the house for me at first. She called the house to talk to my parents about something. But I was the first one to pick up, and so we talked for about an hour straight. And she never talked to my parents that night. She just talked to me. And then, during that conversation, I just, felt peace, felt the peace. It was just kind of slowly but surely obvious that, that we were really a good match. Just our mentality. A thought process. So I kind of knew because everything was really, really peaceful.
Okay. All right. That's great. I mean, it's such, everyone had a different story, but and all very interesting. So, I just want to touch base on something that Donnell said. He said men are physical. And, I think that it's true. I think most men would say that. Are there any other stereotypes about men, that are true or maybe that are wrong? So one stereotype is that, men are visual, so that's a good stereotype. We know that. And I guess you all would agree. Is that right? Would you agree that you're visual as well as, that's kind of one of the first things you look at?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, when I seen that picture, that was it.
I think that's just a natural, like a natural thing, you know.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? I don't know the scientific term for it, but like it's necessary, I guess.
yeah.
Yeah.
But you know what? Beauty is in the eye of the beholder as well. So I think that's
Right.
good. So I ask you, are there stereotypes about men that are wrong?
Yeah.
You know, like, so for example, what might one or two be?
No, so if you take that same one, so like you say the man is physical, like physical attraction, but it's taken in a negative connotation, as in like man is only attracted to a certain type of female, but that's not the case.
Right.
It's particular to the match that he's looking for. So like while the assumption is correct, it's taken in a negative connotation.
Okay, so how so though? I mean, so you're expand on that a little bit. Anyone?
Well, yeah, I think all stereotypes are wrong, but you know, some people are physical, but it doesn't stop there. Because if a lady's beautiful but her attitude
Right.
is horrible, like we're gonna want to get out of there as soon as possible. So I think there's definitely more depth than men. Men have depth, and I think people can overlook that and just focus on the physical part. Yes, we might be visual and physical, but we also have depth.
Okay, so depth in terms of wanting to see character.
Other parts.
Other,
Yeah. Character. And I've experienced it. Before where I met a lady and I wasn't attracted to her physically, but the more I talked to her, her personality was attractive. And so we want to see that, how she handles life, life in general, her thought process, all those things matter.
Mhm.
Definitely.
So tell me, the topic today is when a man loves a woman. So when a man loves a woman, what won't he do?
He won't be disrespectful. He won't be abusive. He's going to cherish the woman. Because when you love something, you're going to take care of it, and you're going to cherish it.
He will lose. He will lose his argument. He'll lose arguments that he actually won. He'll lose time for something he wanted to do instead. He will lose.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he will accept it out of love for the woman.
He will accept loss. Okay,
Yes.
I like that. Okay, Vernon, what won't, even though he loves a woman, what won't he do?
Well, I'm
Vernon?
having such a challenge hearing.
Oh,
Um,
sorry.
I hope you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you. So when a man loves a woman, what won't he do though?
But assuming the question is what a man
Won't do.
and when I think about what a man will do if he loves a woman, and that is obviously to respect her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I'm so sorry. I have a really
It's
poor
okay.
connection.
Okay, it's all right. I know you experienced weather challenges.
And I'm not able to hear you at all.
Oh,
Oh wow.
all right.
They got the
That's
little
okay.
thing on the side.
Yeah,
think.
That's fine. So if you can't just decide what you like to do, Vernon, that's fine. I understand the weather's been really bad and it's probably responsible for the connection problems. Drake, tell me what won't a man do even though he loves his woman?
A man would not dismiss her dreams and goals. I think if he truly loves her, then he would definitely listen. You know, when she speaks to her desires, you know, and her goals, and make sure that his life isn't drowning out what she really desires to do.
Okay. So I'm hearing you say respect and support and be willing to acquiesce, you know, if necessary. And you know, are you know, it sounds like you guys are just perfect.
No,
Like,
far from that.
I'm a perfect man to be on this show. I just love it. So my next question then is, would you say that you are an evolved man, a man who has, you know, understood what it means to be a man, and what it means to be in a relationship with a woman? And if so, how do you know, are you evolved? And if so, how do you know?
But it's not like evolved like the Renaissance, man.
No.
That's not what it is. It's
more
evolution.
about it. Yeah.
It's evolution. I don't know which sciences is that.
Well, I mean, listen, there's some women, if they were on this show, they could tell you some things, I'm sure.
It's not like enlightenment. It's not like ding, like, oh, yes, now I've become this.
I think it's more of a maturity.
Yeah, like
it's more of maturity. Like what I did when I was in my 20s and early 30s, I don't do that anymore. Yeah. So you evolve, you know, you become a better person. You know, before I was kind of selfish in my younger years. It was all about me. And, you know, I would keep it moving. If you hurt me, I hurt you. I keep it moving, and that's it. Now, you know, I'm laid back. I listen more. You know, communicate better. Stuff like that. So, you know, you mature as you get older.
So what's
some people, not everybody.
You know, so that's my question. What is it? What light bulb went on in your head that said, I've got to listen, I've got to communicate?
It's not a light bulb. That's what I'm trying to tell you. It's not a light bulb.
Yeah,
it's not a light bulb. You're doing what's necessary to have a healthy marriage, right, or continue on with a partner. Yeah. Once if you get to the point where it's just like, all right, it's not worth it anymore to do it with this partner, then that's when divorce happens. It's not like because if you were so enlightened, then you wouldn't, like, divorce wouldn't happen, because you would be in that state for
you learn from it.
Yeah, you're not going to become unenlightened. So it's not in my opinion, it's not like an enlightenment. It's more of like it is evolving like an evolutionary type thing, but it's like a survival of the fittest more kind of type of thing. So you're cultivating yourself to be a successful partner in your marriage. Yeah, in my opinion.
And when you have children, also, it kind of
do it again. You go through a whole nother process.
Yeah, it's a whole nother process.
Yeah.
I think that, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I think, you know, for me, when I think about that, like evolving, I would say for me, it would be like mentally, you know, almost like certain concepts become clearer. You know, they say a man, I don't know how true this is or accurate, I should say, but a man's brain doesn't fully develop until their mid-20s or something like that. And so for me, I got married. I just turned 22 when I got married. Like a week before I got married, I turned 22. And so now that I'm 39 or 38, I'm sorry, 38, the difference between me then and now is basically there's a bunch of concepts that I was able to grab hold of, and one is time. You know, I know that there's a time for everything now. You know, certain things you hear when you're younger, but you have to live life some. You got to experience life in order to fully understand and accept things. So just as far as conversation, you know, there's a time to say things, you know, there's a time not to say them, you know, just understanding those type of concepts, or how the brother here said earlier, how, you know, you'll learn how to lose. Like if you love your wife, you'll know how to lose. But basically that's a concept of, you know what, I can't win every argument. I have to give and take. So I think the evolution comes in those principles and concepts over time as you mature, you know?
So I really want to hone in now on the fact that what I'm hearing you say is that some men haven't learned what you've learned. And that's okay. Okay. So how am I getting it wrong?
It's not that they might know, like they might know exactly what they need to do. It's the point of like you can learn something, right? But like you still may not want to actually do it.
Right.
Like it's not worth it to you to do it. You might know what you need to do.
Okay.
That don't mean you're gonna do it.
It's like the old saying, you know better, you do better. Some people know, but they just don't want to do it. They just don't want to do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So got it. Now I'm clear. I'm absolutely clear now.
Yeah, they're still attracted to that lifestyle of not being down with their partner. Like that other half, they haven't found that other half that's gonna make them is the word capitulate or like or wanna do what they want to do or learn. Like that other half has to be the counter force.
Right.
I see. So they haven't found the one that makes them want to make those changes.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Good. You're educating me. I appreciate it. Oh, good. All right. So let me ask. Okay, this is great. As a man, what is the worst turn off by a woman? And so knowing this, what advice would you give to a woman? What advice would you give to a woman who's seeking a guy like yourself?
I think communication, being able to listen as well as, you know, express yourself. A lot of times I know in the bad relationships, nobody's listening. There's a bunch of talking, everybody's trying to get their point across and nobody's listening to each other. I think you really need to listen to each other, understand each other, pay attention to each other. And it'll make things really sweet. I know that's with my wife. We have good conversations because we listen. You know, I'm not trying to talk over her. She's not trying to talk over me. And we have a very, very productive, you know, conversation. In the past, I would be having conversation and you can't get a word in. It's either their way or that's it. You know, so I think listening, communicating is a big, big part of it.
Good. What do you think, Drake? What would you say? Would you agree, or would you add something?
Well, I have something to add to it. Well, mine is a little different. I think a big turnoff would be if a woman doesn't know how to be truthful with herself. And I say that because I know that there's different personality types. So it's not even so much a personality type, but it's more so if they can't come to grips with the reality of a situation. And so I'll try to explain more. I guess it seems like if I were to be in the same room with someone, and I'm pretty sure you all, probably have witnessed this, and you try to talk to someone and they're just mentally not there. And so you might bring it to their attention. And it comes down to them like not being aware, or maybe even selfish. But when you bring it to them, they don't realize, or they're not ready to come to grips with that reality, that that they're not ready to share their life. So just to make it all simple, big turnoff is when someone is just not ready